Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Eagle Eye Podcast, episode 20. We've made it all the way to 20 episodes now, and unfortunately, as many of you guys have read the title, it will be the final episode of the 2017-2018 season. That's right. You guys are finally going to be getting rid of us for the meantime. It's a bittersweet finale. It definitely is, especially since we're going to be talking about America and talking about their exit as well. But it's that time of the season. The players are getting vacation. I'm getting vacation. Dylan's already on vacation, to be honest. He said, you know what, forget this. He's already coming to us live from Las Vegas. Dylan, want to say hi to the people?
Yes, Viva Las Vegas. It's really, really nice here. It's nice to have the family out here because, you're going to more than just a strip. You're actually going to other places too, some secret spots that you don't know about. So the perks of having family here too.
All right, so it's episode 20. Dylan was like, you know what? I'm taking my vacation early. He talked to our HR manager. He already put in his vacation time since episode 2, apparently. I didn't know about this, but he's already, living it up in Las Vegas on my behalf. My plane to the Bahamas got canceled, so I guess I'm just gonna be I'm gonna be straight chilling here at home. So unfortunately for me, I will not be living the luxury life, but I'm glad to see one of us will. Dylan.
Yeah, man, definitely. It's beautiful out here, man. Not in Texas. It's like here it's like 80, 85, and then in Texas already almost hitting triple digits, which I'm glad to be away for that for a while. So it's really nice here. I'm enjoying it here.
Okay, stop bragging to the people. All right, some of us still gotta go to work. Some of us still have the regular Monday through Friday. But thank you to all of you who have supported us. We're 20 episodes in. We're gonna be talking about the Club America fracaso that really was the season. It looked like we maybe were able to salvage it, but unfortunately the team let us down, and because of that, the final result was that we get knocked out of the semifinal yet again. And we'll talk exactly the first leg that really did us, and then we'll talk a little bit about the second leg as well. Anything you want to add on, Dylan?
No, let's unfortunately get this going.
All right, let's wrap up the season. Let's wrap up the last episode, and we'll talk to you guys a little bit more about what the future has in store for all of us. So let's talk specifics here. Let's talk, well, the only game there is to talk about. The game that kind of just did us, the game that we were both really hopeful. And I think maybe that's the moral of the story, is maybe don't have so much hope in life, because then you get distraughted by reality. So America goes into Torreon on Thursday night, which I will have to apologize to people a little bit when I get further. Thursday night, America goes to Torreon looking for a result. Game starts off pretty decent, I would say, at 1-1. Things were still pretty good. I think we would have even taken a 2-1 loss, but unfortunately the boys weren't able to hold on to anything really plausible for the second leg, as Torreon wiped the floor with us, and Santos Laguna came out with a 4-1 victory. Now, I can't really talk much about this because, of course, I missed the game. I missed the game, so I owe a huge apology to the fan, because I'm pretty sure they're blaming me. I saw a whole bunch of pictures on Twitter with pics and fire sticks and all that stuff, saying Ivan out because I missed the game, and yet again we missed an opportunity to win. But Dylan, you watched this closely. What went wrong?
I'm telling you, man, it's really, really down to the mistakes. And what sucks is the mistakes we made at the beginning of the season, the mistakes that we talked about all season, were the same mistakes that we continue to make in this game. And that's what sucks. I mean, the first 30 minutes of the game lacked something, and there was nothing there. And to me, it seemed like no midfield, really. And that's what really sucks. I mean, the Cecilio goal changed things after about 30 to 35 minutes whenever Cecilio did score that goal. And then, from then on till half, we're coming back. Yeah, yeah. And then all of a sudden you have this Santos goal, two goals from Santos that come from distance, which I don't understand how we're giving up so many shots from distance like that. And really, I don't know what Marchesín was doing either. Marchesín just decided to just be a spectator and just sit there and like watch. I mean, Whenever you talk about Marchesín doing that, you don't expect that from arguably one of the best in Liga MX when it comes to the goalkeeper position. And that was the first half right there. And, the second half, we had a strong start. Bruno Valdez had a very, very bad mistake, which led to Santos's third goal. And then the substitutions again, man. I preached it the whole season. I thought things were were looking a little better whenever it came to the substitutions and Piojo's tactics, but the substitutions are what killed us again. We didn't see a substitution till the 75th minute of the game, and you think to yourself, why are we waiting so late in this game? And then the opportunities came, but nothing again, man. We still didn't have our shooting boots whenever it came down to it. Whenever we had those opportunities. Overall, though, man, if you go back and look at the stats, man, I mean, I have to say it was pretty even game, but the mistakes, what really cost us, and Santos didn't have no mercy for us.
Would you happen to say that Santos outplayed us, or maybe it was actually the fact that we let ourselves down?
Really, it has to be kind of both. Really, I mean, Santos, like I said, clinical and hurting us in the mistakes and everything. They made no mistake about it. Whenever we made a mistake, Santos made us hurt for that, and we really did, as you can see with the scoreline in the first. And then again, too, man, we had our mistakes. Ourselves were the own downfall. 11 people didn't play on the pitch like it did against Pumas, and in that first series against Pumas, and so that's something you didn't see. You didn't see all 11 players play really. Even Cecilio, despite him scoring that goal, Cecilio still didn't really seem like he was playing like himself with the team too as well. And so at the end of the day, man, it's pretty much a little bit of both really.
Because look, this has been kind of the trending topic for us this whole season. One, our shooting boots. Don't have them on, haven't had them on, and it's a worrying factor. That's why we've been asking for a clinical striker. And two, we kind of get lost by our own doing, because we get sloppy, because we kind of get a little bit disfocused. And it's not really that teams are outplaying us; it's the fact that we just don't seem to be 100% there all the time. It's not like these teams are like wiping the floor. You would expect a 4-1 result out of Torreon. You would have imagined Torreon had that game in the bag from the first 45 minutes, but you're telling me it was the opposite way. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't we have a penalty that we missed as well?
Yes, we did have a penalty that we missed. I remember that because I remember them saying that Jeremy Menez never missed a penalty so far this season, and then he comes up going straight to the keeper. I mean, the keeper going the right way, and the keeper falling to it.
Who jinxed Jeremy Menez? Was it one of the narrator people?
I watched it on Facebook Live, so I think it was Nico Cantor.
Nico, we're coming after you because maybe things would have been different. I see you working your magic. Okay, so Torreon, horrible result, horrible way to go out, but because I read a lot of things too. Because of course, like I said, I want an apology for not being able to watch that game, but you see what people were talking about. You see the fact that obviously no one liked the result. No one liked the fact that things were going kind of wrong. It was it was horrible that the team just didn't show up, because like you and me both said, we felt really good after the Pumas game, especially after the second leg. The way we controlled the game, the way we dictated the play, the way we kind of held Pumas at bay, and we taunted them in a sense that here's the ball, you can do what you want with it, but when we get it, we know exactly what to do. And we thought that this team was going to be so much different. Turns out not much of a difference from the Apertura to the Clausura come to the semifinal.
Yeah, and going off subject a little bit too, but I mean, you go back and look at this season as a whole. You can look at those 8 draws that we had too in the season, and you can see the same thing we're saying now exactly.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, it's absolutely terrible, and I think this game showed a lot what players have the capability to play for this team, and what players just lack confidence, motivation, maybe even a general feeling for the club itself. Because if there's one man we absolutely praised him for his performance against Pumas, and it was an absolute joke against Santos. And that was the Frenchman himself, Jeremy Menez.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. It's really hard to defend some of these players now, because they were at this stage, they were at a big stage too, whenever they had to come up big, and just non-existent. and against a team that we literally beat in the last week of before the Liga too. I mean, yeah, it wasn't pretty, but at the same time, we had that momentum. We've seen this team play before already, and so you would think this team would come out and know what to do, when you didn't see that in the first leg.
And it's ridiculous the fact that we weren't able to do anything, and the fact that some of these players just kind of didn't even show up. It's ridiculous the fact that Jeremy Mann is a player that we've put so much faith after such a great result, after such great showings that he's been giving us. The fact that he's giving these kind of performances, and I'll take this even further to the second leg against Santos, where Pio Herrera takes him out because let's face it, he was not playing his best game. And the way he comes back, he gets mad, he throws the bottle, he starts yelling. That's not a proper response from a player who, in a total of, what do you want to say, he played maybe what, 100, what, 100 and what's 90 plus, he went out like what, around the 60th minute.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So for about 150 to 160 minutes, for a player that produced nothing, I don't think he has the right to go out of the field and throw the berrinche that he threw. It's ridiculous. He's a quote unquote one of the leaders on that pitch, and he didn't showcase that. He didn't showcase that. Yeah, everyone has the right to miss a penalty. We're human, we have flaws, whatever. But it's the fact that there was just no response from this player. There was no response from him going forward. He kind of just was sluggish. I saw the pictures of him. He just kind of had that like stupid whatever's face, like couldn't believe it. Like, that's not what I want to see from you, from someone who has Champions League experience, who has European, Italian, French experience. Like, this should not be your reaction. For someone who's played at such a high level, he should know exactly that, when it comes down to it, especially in the semifinal, it's perform, or you're gonna get benched.
Yeah, definitely, man. It sucks to see that too, because even when he made his debut, man, you see him start off good. Obviously you see him, he's not 100%. There's still some barriers to his team, but then 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, he's already making his first start, and he starts off good to the season until he gets that knock, that injury, and then you see him come back and you see him do the things that he's been doing, and then he doesn't do it again. Like, it's not what you really expect, like you said.
And maybe the worrisome thing is that maybe he just starts well and doesn't know how to close things out. Because let's remember, against the Clásico, he was there. Not a lot of people remember, but Jeremy Menez played against Guadalajara, and in the few minutes that he had, he didn't really produce much.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, man. It's just,
and it's those big games like that I'm just kind of like expecting him, out of everyone, him to come out.
Yeah, and no, I mean, it sucks just that we couldn't see that against Toronto. Well, maybe it would have been a different story a little bit too if we had him for Toronto, but we didn't. But it's these big games, that you have yet to see really anybody come out and perform the way you want to perform in those big games.
Yep. So we got here in the group chat Alex, who said, who's asking us a question: if America would have beaten Tigres if Tigres had advanced instead of Santos. Especially, I bring this up now because we're talking about how this team is performing. If the same team that played Santos played against Tigres, I think the result would have been the same. I don't think we would have advanced.
Yeah,
not the way we're playing, not the way we were playing, not the way we. Because let's face it, we were our own downfall. It's not that this Santos played so much better. It's not that this Santos, just played miles ahead of us. No, it's just we made careless, stupid mistakes. We were very careless. We weren't smart in the head, and especially in the second leg when all we needed was one more goal, and we'll get to that soon enough. But the fact that we just couldn't keep a composure and throughout these 180 minutes, that's the most worrisome part.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just that's just how it comes down to. But at the same time, man, it comes down to 11 players on the pitch playing with each other as 11 people, and they can't even do that. Like, we can't even pull the strings together.
Yep, it's worrisome because players who you would expect to be there and kind of handle it weren't there. Mateus Uribe, terrible. Guido Rodriguez, not the same Guido. It's horrible. Mm-hmm. I mean, you see Bruno Valdez have one half good in the second leg. Afterwards, things just kind of disappeared. And in the first leg, it was ridiculous the mistakes he made. Paul Aguilar, again, just He was a little bit more tactically, sound in the second leg, but I mean, he just was kind of all over the place. I mean, Ore Peralta, nothing to say about that because really there was nothing he produced, nothing at all. We already mentioned Jeremy Menes. Cecilio Dominguez, another player that we need to talk about who just has not performed in big games like this. In games where you want your number 10 to kind of be the bright spot, he didn't do enough. Yes, he won. Yes, he scored the penalty, and yes, he scored the goal against in Torreon. But in positions that you'd expect a player to score in, it's not that he created these opportunities himself. It's not like he took 1-2 players on and then kind of made things happen. We've seen Cecilio do this before. It's just the fact that he hasn't produced it in these final critical moments that make you worry, because throughout these whole 90 minutes that I saw in the Azteca, he was lost. He was completely gone.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't even know what to say, man, because that's really how bad I see it. And, to be honest, it just really sucks to see these players that perform that way. Whenever you've seen the team perform, you see the potential this team has, but they just don't want to tap into that potential.
That's true. That's true. And we got another great question by Javier Hernandez here, saying, do you guys think there's a leader on the pitch in terms of morale? And I think this is a great question because it leads up to what we're saying about these players not being there. Even our own captain, who you imagine would be the answer to this question, because he was for such a long time this kind of leader, whether it was on and off the pitch, especially when it came to morale. You saw this guy kind of just go up to the player, be like, "Come on, keep your head up. There's still more time. Let's keep it going." And it wasn't the case this time. There was even times where other players had to go up to Oribe Peralta and kind of say that. It's ridiculous. I don't think we have a leader at this point. I don't think we have a leader. The closest maybe we have is Marchesín, but he, as a goalkeepers are good leaders, but they don't make for the great best captains, because the captain should be mobile enough to be all around the pitch, because you need to go sometimes, argue with the ref, go talk to your players, this and that. So as a goalkeeper, maybe that's not the best kind of task. But I think leader-wise on the pitch, I don't really see one right now.
No, I definitely don't see one either. Even whenever we talked about Oribe, whether he should be benched or not, should we start Henry over Oribe? Obviously, Oribe wasn't gonna get benched because obviously he's like captain. But after Oribe, I mean, I don't see nobody else. Despite Paul Aguilar being our co-captain, I don't see nobody really. There's nobody there on the pitch that can lead us to lead the team on the pitch either.
And that's very worrisome, because you need a leader out there, especially in moments like this, in moments where all you really need is someone to kind of just cheer on, give you hope, give you momentum, carry you forward. It's very unfortunate the fact that we don't have that player on the pitch,
And it was, I mean, I was saying, man, like it was right there. It was right there. We scored those 2 goals, man. We scored those 2 goals before half, like we talked about, that we needed outside the pod. And I mean, like we'll probably get to the second leg in a minute, but I mean, that's what we're missing, man. You score those 2 goals, and then it just goes downhill from there, and like nobody's there to keep the team going.
Yeah, it was a tough game for both legs, especially I would imagine after the first leg. Maybe that's really what did us. Let's be honest. As much as we want to talk about the second leg, the first leg was very crucial, very critical. The fact that you couldn't walk away with even just a 2-1 defeat, I mean, that says a lot. Then you had your opportunities, you had chances, your shooting boots just weren't there. You look in the mirror and you have to blame yourself at this stage, And right now we're putting a lot of pressure on the players, as we should, but Piojo deserves a whole bunch of this criticism as well. I know he's trending right now with hashtag Piojo fuera. I don't think that's the answer. I don't think we should get rid of him, and we'll talk about that a little bit afterwards when we kind of wrap everything up. But he has a lot of responsibility in these 2 legs as well. You said it yourself. The substitutions just weren't there. He was very hesitant. He's kind of that morale for the players, but it looked like maybe that wasn't even enough at that stage. So it's unfortunate that even our own coach couldn't kind of get things going out of there was no plan B, I would imagine, for him. He saw things going sideways, and he just said, I have faith in my team. Let's see if they can write it out. And we didn't. And, that falls on him too, because at one point he should have realized he's getting out coached. So let's switch things up. Let's even defend. Let's even park the bus at 2-2-1. Heck, 3-1. Park the bus. Say things aren't working for us. Okay, we'll just hold this. We'll hold this. We'll try to get you on a counter if we can. Okay, but we will take at least the 3-1 at most. The 3-1. Excuse me, at most the 3-1 and at least a 2-1 results. But I mean, he wasn't even smart enough to be able to walk away with that. I mean, that ponders a bit of questioning as well.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I mean, we talked about it too, man. It doesn't need to be the players that need to adapt to what's on the pitch too and what's going against the other team, but it also needs to be Piojo too. Piojo needs to see what's on the field. Piojo can basically almost like see the whole field, so he should be able to see that too as well and tell the players what to do and how to adapt to that too as well. But we don't really see Piojo do that a lot too, and we saw that toward the end too. Whenever we always talk about how we would always play through Nazi Ibarra, that just seems like what Piojo do. We like the creativity, but just he doesn't adapt himself too as well to the playing style of the other team and what needs to change in the team too as well.
Yep. We'll definitely talk about players that we think need to leave that probably should be on their way out. I know a couple people already writing and typing in their suggestions. I see shout out to AJ who's telling us Uribe, Paul, William, Arce Diaz out ASAP. We'll discuss a little bit that further in the pod, and we'll definitely talk about exactly what's going on with the team and the players. But let's focus more on a little bit about this second leg, because at that point, the first leg, it finishes. It's 4-1. It's a bitter result. You kind of walk away with it. You try to do your best to kind of cope with it, but I don't get the sense that this team fully had the belief that they could come out and win. I think that they believed that they could do a good game, which, granted, the first 45 minutes were a good game, but after that, I don't know if they had it in them to go on and push forward, and really showcased after the first 45 minutes. It was gonna be tough. We were asking for a miracle, for an hazaña, and as good fans, as hopeful fans, we believed in this team. This team even brought out a whole bunch of propaganda saying that they were going to come back, that they were going to die on the pitch. I specifically heard quotes from players, managers, members that they were going to go out there on the pitch and leave everything, that there was going to be nothing that they could have done more, that they were going to leave everything on that pitch. And let me tell you one thing, they lied to us. Not one player played out of their shirts that day. Not one single player gave 120% of what they have and what they were capable of. At most, we probably got 80%. And that was at most. This team lied to us. This team did not play to the standards that they even set for themselves, because this is not what we said. Yes, we set the standards very high, but they had exceeded that standard and said, we are going to come out, we are going to give you guys the remontada that you guys want, and afterwards we are then going to go on to the final. And that gave you hope. That gave you the illusion that the team was definitely 100% there. And for the first 30 minutes, it looked like it was all there. You know what happened afterwards? They completely fell apart, player and manager. They had no idea how to cope with just one goal. This is all we needed, one goal. Out of the next 60 minutes that we had, all we needed was one goal, and then boom, you could have parked the bus as much as you want. You could have held back as much as you want. You could play the ugliest, the dirtiest game after that point, but it was one goal. And we weren't able to do that. So the team lied to us. They not only just lied to themselves, they lied to us, which is the worst part, because they gave you this false solution, and you go in Sunday thinking that it's gonna be the best game you've ever seen. And to be honest, for the first 30 minutes, you believed it. You believed that propaganda. You believed every single thing they fed to you prior to that match. And afterwards, to walk out with such a terrible result, with such terrible performances, there was not one player on that pitch that said, well, you know what? At least this guy gave it his all. No one out there. No one out there. And I think that's the worst part. That, all these players come out and they say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Oriol Peralta himself, our own captain, said, don't give up faith, have hope. We're going to give it our all. We're going to die on that pitch. Oriol Peralta was walking at points.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, so especially being fed all that we got like that, it was just so. It wasn't just heartbreaking, but it was just it built up a lot of anger too, because you knew it was there, and we'll talk about exactly what went wrong. But I mean, how did you feel? How did you take upon the end result?
No, I mean, what's sad, man? I mean, obviously too though, I mean, I couldn't really show that frustration. I couldn't really show that because I'm here with my family too, But at the end of the day, man, it just sucks to see this team. I mean, like we said time and time before, you've seen this potential of this team. You've seen how this team can play, but not go out there and give it your all. I mean, that's what you're getting paid to do for, man. I mean, you're playing a game that you love to do, that you've been playing since you're a kid, and you're at this point in the stage in your life too where you're living that dream, and for you just not to show up and show out, I mean, really worrisome, man.
Diego Lainez only got 20 minutes, but I think if I had to pick someone, it's probably Diego Lainez. He kept running at defense. Even when Santos scored that second goal, he picks up the ball as soon as they score on us, and he runs at defenders that he gets a foul. And that's what I want to see. That's what I want. I want someone that can not do everything, but has the courage enough to go and run at defenders and get kicked, because he got kicked plenty of times within those 20 minutes. But the kick kept coming up, and he kept asking for that ball. He kept screaming at people, "Give me the ball, give me the ball." That's what I wanted to see. No one on that pitch else did that. I would have expected Henry Martin to do better. He didn't. Renato Ibarra, he was good, but was he his best? I don't know. Cecilio Dominguez again was just quiet the whole night. Even after scoring a penalty, he had a couple of chances to go out and really do things. So it was just frustrating on that end. So I mean, we also will check this down to tactics, because I think Piojo got it right for the first 30 minutes, and after that he should have switched things around, but he didn't.
Yeah, it almost feels like that going back, out coach, I feel like Santos adapted to what we were doing compared to us adapting to them, because obviously you see the lineup, and it's a whole different lineup. It's not really necessarily what you expect to, going out all attack, shoot, starting Henry too next to Uribe too, and I did something I didn't expect.
Yeah, I did not expect to see a back three, to be honest. I really thought we were gonna go with the back four, but we were just gonna be very aggressive. As soon as we see we get a back three, I'm a little hesitant, but I see that we're going at it, and things are going good for the first 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, it was a good call, it was the right call. Let's just kind of keep going with it. And I think it was just, you saw the team just kind of ran out of gas at some point, I think, and that's the worst part. They had it all there. It was just like we said, one goal. That's all we needed, and the team let us down in that sense. And because of that, look what happens. We're not going to no final, and it's very unfortunate. It's extremely unfortunate that the team wasn't able to cope with just the inertia of the game. Because they let down the rhythm. I know it's tough. It's tough just to run at full speed and pressure and do all that stuff for 45 minutes. It's tough. It's going to be exhausting. But guess what? You put yourself in that position. You knew that was going to be your end game, and all you needed was 15 more minutes. And I promise you, in those 15 more minutes, if we would have kept pressing, if we could have kept putting Santos against the wall, because we gave Santos no opportunity to play. We gave him we gave him space to run into, but we were very anticipating whenever the ball came through. Our defenders kind of just ran at it, got the ball. Even if they weren't going to get them, they always got the foul. They were smart enough to make sure that Santos did not go through any way possible. The fact that after the 30-minute mark, you see, okay, well, all we need is one goal, so let's kind of relax now. No, there was no need to relax at that point. I know a lot of people would have said, let's relax, let's take it easy. Now we need just one goal. No, you have the inertia, you have the game rhythm going at you. You have the momentum. Use it to the full extent. After those 45 minutes, then you could have rested, you could have done things, but not after 30. You have 15 more minutes, push through. This is what you've been training for. This is you knew this is what your end game was going to be. So the fact that they let up at the 30-minute mark, that was what it did us. Because then we let Santos have the ball, we let Santos move, we let Santos play their game. And as soon as we did that, they were always going to catch us, because we had one man less in the defense, and all they needed to do was play one good ball, and they did.
Man, I mean, he just took all the words out of my mouth, man. Like, I don't even know how to top all that. Like,
but it's true. It's true.
Yeah,
and I know
yeah,
I'm not the
yeah.
only person that's thinking that too. So I mean, it's I at the end of the day, this was the episode that we were gonna rant, because our team let us down. Our team extremely let us down at this point, and I know everyone here is feeling the same as well. But I mean, What were your thoughts? I mean, you see 2-1 at the end of the half. What are you thinking? We got this. We can do this. What was going through your head?
Yeah, when I see 2-1, I still think we got this because I'm thinking, we scored 2 goals, in those 30 minutes, and we can go out and score another 2 goals, because that's all we needed in the end. But, the team didn't go out and do that. The team just, I don't even know what the team did. I don't even know if you'd call that, team play. I don't even, it was even a team on the field, as a matter of fact, is that. But, it's, yeah, I mean, I see the 2-1 down. I was like, okay, we can go out and go get that result because we've already seen 2 goals scored, but, the team failed to do that too.
Yeah. Yeah. So you go 2-1 at the half. You know that now you need 2 more goals. You're kind of in the same boat as you were coming into the game, but now it's just 2 goals. You know you have 45 minutes. You did it in the first 45. Why not in the second half? I expected this team to come out and straight off pressure, take chance after chance. Don't let Santos breathe. Don't let them get on the ball. Dictate the play as much as possible. But none of that ever happened. None of that happened at all. We looked so sluggish. We looked like there was no intention, no heart, nothing. That's why I got so mad that people said that they were gonna go out there and they were gonna die on the pitch, that they were gonna give it their all. Their last sweat of their body was gonna, be played that game. But it wasn't. There was so much sluggish. There was so much inconsistency. There was just players that just did not look happy. Didn't look like they even want to be there. It was ridiculous. I think even some maybe were thinking, if we lose, it's not the end of the world. We got to the semifinals. That's pretty decent. And, start talking about vacation. But it was not that time. I did not see a starting 11 come the second half that really wanted it. It did not look like they wanted to go and play a final. They were just okay.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just it is at the end of the day, man. Too, it is what it is. This team doesn't want to go out and play and give us a full 90 minutes. Then obviously we need to look for other options too as well. I mean, because obviously the team's not living up to its potential, and there's some things that need to be fixed. There's some positions that need to be addressed too as well, which I'm pretty sure we'll talk about that here in a second. But I mean, so something's got to give, man. Somebody's got to come in this team and fire them up, man. For the whole 90 minutes. Just can't just be for the first 30 like it was.
Yeah. I mean, what more can we say? There was just no real heart. And I think that's what. And I know a lot of people will say, well, they're just professionals. They're not supposed to feel anything for the jersey, blah, 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 blah. Like, I get that. A profession is a profession. I get that. But, if you want to be good at something, I would imagine you'd want to put everything in it. And I would imagine a little bit of heart goes into it, And
Yeah.
the fact that there was just no real determination, there was no hunger, there was no willpower from anyone on the pitch, that it was just so devastating to watch. You knew Santos was going to score another one before we even scored, because they had hit the post twice already.
Yeah, I think about twice.
They had hit the post twice, and it was like, and you kind of had the sense like, no, luck is on our side. We can still do this, blah blah blah. But every single time America tried to go up that pitch, nothing worked through. Guido could not hold on to a ball or give a good pass. Mateus Uribe could not hold on to the ball or give a good pass. No one on the wing besides Renato Ibarra was actually doing their job. Cecilio Dominguez was lost that second half. Excuse me. He should have been gone way before Jeremy Menez. But he stayed on the pitch. Henry Martin, I think, should have stayed on the pitch, but he did not. He had to go. Oriol Peralta, again, another one of those players that, what more can you say, but had a horrible, horrible season. I think this game just sums our whole year up. Really. It really does. It doesn't. Let me explain as to why it perfectly does. Because at 2-0, your expectations are high. You're off the roof. You're happy as you can be. You're just at touching distance from glory. Then they score a goal on you. Okay, you get dropped a little bit more down, but it's still there. It just all relies on you. You have to have belief, and you can do it. But then you start slowly letting yourself down. They score that second one, and boom. Season's over, just like that. And that was America for the whole 2017-2018 season. They started off good. They were just great. You knew that this team had potential to do great things, both Apertura and Clausura. Then towards the middle, they start fading away, but they still have the potential to go there and do what they have to do. Boom. At the closing end of the season, just horrible, terrible. Season's gone after that. I mean,
it's all right there basically. I mean, we can go back and look at those 8 draws too if we wanted to, and say a lot of things about those 8 draws that we had.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of things we could pick about that this team could have done better, should have done better, and could have done better. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and the fact that we were terrible because we let ourselves be terrible. It wasn't because the other team made us look horrible. It was because we played horrible. And at the end of the day, you need to realize that. So that was 180 minutes are done. Santos qualified. Congratulations to you and your fan base. You guys deserve it. They showcase that you don't need much talent. All you really need is a lot of hard work, a lot of determination, and a group of players that know what they're playing for and who they're playing for. And unfortunately, that's not what we have. None of that. We have the talent, we have the players, but we don't have the cohesion. We don't have kind of the structure. We don't have what it took to go out there and beat Santos and crown ourselves champions. Because let's face it, you think we would have done better against Toluca? Maybe. But in all honesty, would have we?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, being real honest, I mean, nobody probably wants to hear that, but I mean, all honesty, I mean, really, I mean, think about it, the way the team plays, I mean.
And at this point, it's people may say it's harsh, but at this point, you need to be harsh. You need to reflect on everything that happened within this year, and there's no way to sugarcoat things, especially to the players. It's you let yourselves down, you left the fans down. You need to do better. You need to, or guess what? You're no longer gonna have a job at the club. That goes for not only the players, but for the manager as well, and for their staff. It's you're a family, you're a cycle, you're a team. You win as a team, you lose it as a team. So, kind of get your things lined up for next season, and hopefully they come out and really showcase the team that we know this team can be, because it's out there. Just need maybe one or two pieces to kind of put everything together.
Yeah, and a leader too that will bring this team up and tell this team that they have the potential and they could do this. I mean, you didn't see that from nobody in the Apertura and the Clausura.
You could see maybe Diego Lainez take on that role later in his career, maybe. Who knows? Maybe even next season. I mean, because there was that point in time where he was telling Oriol Peralta what to do.
Yeah, there really was. I mean, but no, I mean, he'll be 18 in the summer too. I mean, no telling if he could possibly leave either.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that right now when we talk a little bit of transfer rumor mill. But really, that's the end of that. I think we were all upset. We were all mad. I think it was just I think I just texted one message to our group and I was like, well, that's that, boys, and kind of maybe try to ignore the fact that we had lost. But after you sit back and you reflect it, I don't think we deserved it. We didn't earn it. There was at stages in the season when I think we could have, but we'll see what happens next season. But I think I even tweeted this out through the Eagle Eye podcast account. At the end of the day, there's only really one word that describes, that kind of just sums up the whole season, and that is failure.
Mm-hmm.
The season was a failure. It was an absolute fracaso. It was you have to call it as it is, a horrible, terrible season. Not the worst season we've ever had, of course, but you look back and this team is, has high expectations. The fan base expect highly big things from this club, and especially with all the momentum that was and the money that was spent, you would have imagined at least one out of the 4 trophies that you could have won this season. You would have expected America to walk away with one, but they didn't even walk away with anything. And we get knocked out in the semifinals. Again, it's terrible. Did we get knocked out in the semifinals against in Monterrey against in the Copa MX?
Oh wait, yeah, we did.
Yeah. So semifinals. That's as good as we can go in every competition: Apertura, Copa MX, Conca Champions, and Clausura. So, I mean, one more. What more can we say? It was a total disaster. I'm not saying it's the worst season. I'm not saying that we need to fire everyone. There are some players that need to go. There are some people that are gonna be under a microscope. That is gonna Pio Herrera is gonna be one of those people. But I don't think it's time that we throw everything out the window. There's things that work, and there's things that maybe just need a bit of tweaking. But overall, the season was a poor one. It's whenever you don't win anything in America, it's always going to be considered a fracaso. Obviously, it wasn't like when La Volpe didn't even qualify us to the Liga. But it still hurts just as much because this team had potential and they could have gone so much further.
Yeah, really, really could have managed. Just I don't know why this team just didn't want to unlock that potential.
Yep, a lot of players let us down. If you go down the list, Silvio Romero, Darwin Quintero, a couple players like Arce, who we thought was actually going to feature a little bit more whenever he was on there, didn't really look his best. William da Silva, who at times looked well, but for the most part, maybe shouldn't be in America jersey anymore.
Which he's not after the season.
Well, I mean, is he? Because I mean, Nacho Ambriz isn't there anymore.
Oh, that is true. I forgot
So
about
I don't
that.
know if that deal with him going to Necaxa kind of blew up, but I mean, we'll get more about that later. So it ends right there, ladies and gentlemen. We walk out with a defeat against Santos Laguna, and like we said, to wrap it up the season, it was a total and utter failure. And now we gotta rebuild a couple of things here and there. We gotta restructure our group, and after that, you know, have the ambition to go forward and keep pushing. So
yeah, find a leader. Yeah, we'll find a leader for sure.
we will. Any other comments on the end of the season?
I wish it didn't end. I wish it didn't end.
Yeah, we wish so too, because then this wouldn't be the last podcast.
Yeah, really wouldn't. But it is what it is too. At the end of the day.
So it's the end of the season for Club America 2017-2018. Wasn't the best, but we have hopes for next season, and that does unfortunately mean that it's the end of the Eagle Eye podcast as well. We'll be taking our vacation. We'll be a little bit MIA for a while, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later on in this show. It's I don't know. It's a bittersweet goodbye, because we would have expected to be talking one more time about another American game, especially coming into the final.
Yeah, I was really hoping for that, but like we said, guys, it is what it is. I mean, it's over. I mean, what more can you do?
Yep, the soccer roller coaster gets you every single time. So, really, I mean, I guess that's all we can say. I mean, to really wrap it up, this team could have done much better. There was points in time where we actually believed in this kind of fairy tale, but I think at the end of the day, the true colors came out, especially in those semifinals against every team, really. So we let ourselves down.
Damn you, Roma.
Damn you, Roma. And it was, I don't know. Well, it is what it is now, I guess.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So as it is the end of the season, let's talk a little bit about departures, about people we want to see gone, and about people that we potentially want to see come in for the summer transfer window, which opens, I believe, in July. So a lot to talk about, a lot of speculations, and well, I'll throw it to you first. Give me 3 to 4 names of players that you will no longer want to see in an America jersey.
3 to 4, you said?
Yeah.
William da Silva. Let's see. I'm gonna go on a stretch here. Aguilar. That's gonna be very hard to replace though, because we didn't really have another right back unless we put Eds in there for some reason. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I guess you could say really Oribe Peralta, maybe. I really don't see him leaving, but that's somebody that I really want to see we get rid of. With the past few seasons he's had, I think it's time to part ways with him.
Okay. So I'll go with yours too. I'll go Oribe Peralta, Paul Aguilar. As hard as that is to say, Paulo Aguilar, yes, Paulo Aguilar. William da Silva. I'll also probably, I know this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be really, really crazy. But Cecilio Dominguez and Guero Diaz.
Buenos dias.
And here's why. I know Guero is a good player. Don't get me wrong. I know there's people who really rate him. Our good friend Alan from La Resaca Americanista rates him very well as well. But he just reminds me so much of one, Martin Zuniga, and two, Daniel Marquez. For those, I don't know if you remember. No, you probably don't remember Daniel Marquez. He was before you started following the team. But it's just these young players that have potential. Unfortunately, they don't get as much game time, but when they do, they kind of don't take it to full advantage. Not like Raul Jimenez. When Raul Jimenez came in, boy, did he use every single minute that he had on the pitch, kind of like Diego Lainez does. Um, you know, so I think his time is up. We've gave him time. He hasn't used it. He scored a couple of goals here and there, but really you got to look against what oppositions. And really, I think he's just taking up a spot for maybe another good young striker to come up from the reserves. So I think and a lot of people may not want to see him go, but I think it's time that we part ways with him and give another youngster his shot at the striker position.
Now, just quick question. Do you think, obviously, like you said, he didn't really take advantage of his minutes. Do you think the downfall too, because would be the way the team plays a little bit too as well, the players that are around them too, probably to an extent maybe.
Yes, but I think at that point you need to adapt to your team instead of the team adapting to you, especially if you're a youngster trying to fit in and trying to get your chance. I think he just didn't adapt his game correctly at times, yes, but for the most part, my dad and my uncle were kind of just joking around on Sunday when they were talking, about El Güero Diaz, that you see him come in, but you don't really see much of him until the end of the game where he's interchanging shirts with another player. So it's just maybe a little harsh, but it's true.
Yeah.
You want to see more from this kid because he's shown he has very bright potential, very good future. He's played with the Mexican national team at a youth level, so he obviously has something there that people see, but he just hasn't been able to showcase it. Let's face it, he's going up. He's no longer a 19-year-old that's playing. He's reaching his 20s, and I think at this point, just I'm pretty sure another club would be happy to take him.
Yeah, I think so, man. I mean, if he didn't dab like you said, it's time to move on for him too as well. And I feel like he could do some good at another club too, where he can, adapt to that too as well. Because obviously, like we said, he hadn't adapt. He's got to learn how to adapt, and he hadn't done that.
Yeah, he'd make a great striker for some other team. I know he would, but unfortunately, just not for us. But it's not his fault. It's some people make it, some people don't. It's as simple as that.
The way the cookie crumbles in life.
That's true. So let's see what people have to say on the group chat. Let's see. They have said Javier Hernandez has said his list for departures: Carlos Vargas, Guero Diaz, William da Silva, and maybe, just maybe, Uribe Peralta. Funny, Carlos Vargas. What do you take of him? Do you think I don't know if I would let him go?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, if you look at the overall this season, he did. I guess you could say good to an extent at being at left back.
Yes,
But
he was fairly okay.
Yeah. I mean, like it wasn't necessarily bad, but it wasn't necessarily good. And he had his games, but I mean, I'd much rather see him, at the center back, because obviously that's way more comfortable, But I mean, to an extent, he did good at the left back. I really want to see Carlos Vargas go yet.
Yeah, because I think not only is he's a great option coming off the bench for a center back or a left back position, but when it's time to do maybe those heavy rotational games, you can easily see him sliding into that center back position, and with, for example, Aguilera or Bruno or Edson, you're okay with it because he showcased that he can hold down that position pretty well.
Yeah, somebody said in the group, how about Renato Ibarra?
Little drink, I believe.
Yes.
Drink. How about Renato Ibarra? Look, for me, that's a no.
Yeah,
for me, that is a no. There is no other right midfielder on our team that can fulfill his spot. The only reason I said Cecilio Dominguez was because I'd much rather see Diego Lainez start in that left side
Yeah, and
next season.
and you still don't get that consistency from Cecilio Dominguez still,
Mhm.
which really sucks because you know how he can play, and so I mean, I'm kind of iffy about Cecilio, but a definite no to Renato Ibarra leaving.
Yeah, because I think Renato Ibarra has been consistent. I think whenever he does get the ball, he's very good at he's just so good at keeping that ball on his feet. Whenever, even when he's running as fast as possible, it's ridiculous. Like if you just sit and look at Renato Ibarra, it's ridiculous the way he can control a ball. So I think Renato just absolutely is a very golden player for us. So I think he needs to stay. I do feel though that we need maybe another right mid to go there. I know Mateus Uribes can play there, but you would imagine him playing in the midfield with Guido instead.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's just one of the few points that we know that we need to address too, along with this team.
Yeah.
Probably the right mid position.
Yeah. There's a couple of places that we need to address. We won't go diving in because I think that should be for next season. We'll dive in what we feel the team needs to improve on, what positions and stuff like that. Right now, we're just kind of throwing out names. But I mean, let's kind of focus. He Go back to a little bit of the group chat. He said Carlos, our good friend Carlos Serna said, bring back Churpies. Oh man, no. Let's not bring him back. He's a striker that America had. Um Carlos, who where did he end up going? Give us the follow up on him. Where did he end up going? But back to little drink. He said, but Ibargüen is a left wing too hard line. Too wait what? I can't even read. Do you want to take this one? I don't.
Well, he said specifically, but Ibargüen is left winger. Two is hard Linus or Ibargüen, but I think he's trying to compare should we have Linus or Ibargüen.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was a little confused right there. I thought my
Yeah,
just
because
stopped.
we talked about Cecilio, but we've also seen Ibargüen play on the left side too as well.
I think we're being very very harsh on Ibargüen because he's only been here for 6 months. Kind of same for Jeremy Menez. But I think because we've seen
But
great things from Ibargüen. He is such a great dribbler. I mean, absolutely amazing what he can do on the ball with the ball at his feet, kind of like Diego Lainez. So give him this kind of vacation and this kind of period to rest, do a preseason with the team, and adapt a little bit more. That, wow, I think he can definitely be a really good player.
I think so too. I mean, but we he's seen his flashes. You've seen him, game in, game out. He's been doing his thing. But there are those some games that he doesn't really have. But Ibargüen is going to be something really special for time to come.
Yeah, I see a lot of people are questioning this whole Cecilia thing too. They're saying that we need to keep him as long as possible. He's only 23 to 24 years old. I understand. He's very young. He still has a couple of years before he reaches his prime. Who knows? He could reach it next season with America. He'd be the best player in the world, and I will gladly eat my words. But I mean, it's just I feel like he's just taking up a spot where Diego Lainez could definitely come in and just absolutely tear it apart.
Yeah, I
Maybe that's
mean,
just me.
yeah, no, I get it too. It's just, we still see the inconsistency from him. Despite having, like I said, despite him seeing what he can really do. Obviously too, the Apentura, he had his games, but then he got injured. He would come back from injury. He still didn't do what he was good at doing. It's just really hard to say sometimes too. About these players too as well.
All right. Well, Carlos has given us an update on Churpias. Is at Correcaminos in second division. Would you happen to know how many goals he scored this season? I don't know if that's a little bit of a hard question, but maybe Carlos can get back to us on that one. I'd like to see how he's doing in the second division with Correcaminos. But yeah, I mean, interesting. Someone has just put on the group chat. Cuauhtemoc Gonzalez has said Jerson Torres should come back. I don't know. I don't know about that. Because one, he's young, and yes, while he may have potential, I don't know. I just see him filling up another spot that maybe another player can use. I don't
Jedson
know.
Torres. I mean, okay, I'm kind of blank. I might not know who that is.
Costa Rican last season. He was damn. He played with us for in the Apertura.
Jedson Torres. I don't remember Torres playing with us.
Yeah, young Costa Rican left mid, left back was kind of supposed to be like the next big player for Costa Rica.
What? I don't remember this guy playing for us. I
He
really
he
don't.
featured
Like,
very. I mean, very little. Maybe a
okay,
couple Copa Americas matches.
that's probably why I don't. I honestly don't remember him featuring at all in America last season.
Justin Torres, if you're listening to this, we apologize for Dylan's mishaps of not remembering you. I remember you only because I remember you from FIFA. But that's pretty much it. I don't think he should come back though.
Middle drink. Should America buy new players like Nico Castillo or Gianni? Well, Nico Castillo's going to Europe.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
said
know.
it. He's like he's
Yeah,
not going anywhere except Europe.
yeah,
And
and then
Giannini,
Janini, yeah.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't really like him.
I don't know. I feel like what he's doing with Santos right now, man. I don't feel like he's gonna want to leave.
Not just that, but I don't. I think he just works because he's playing at Santos. Imagine him trying to adapt to this game. I don't think it works for him.
Really, really, I think if Janini leaves, I wouldn't really be surprised if he goes to Europe. But no, I don't really see him leaving Santos.
Okay, so our reporter Carlos Serna, who is an absolute MVP here, has said that he's Churpias has scored none. He has one goal since he scored the golazo on Tigres with that America jersey. So, well,
Nice.
uh, see, perfect example as to why some of these players maybe have overstayed their welcome with America. So shout out to Carlos for being such a great sport and being able to report as much information as we can. He's like that. You ever play FIFA and then they go down to the guy in the sidelines on the pitch, and he's giving you updates about the injured player. That's
Yeah,
that's Carlos right now.
Carlos.
That's
Nice.
Carlos giving us the inside scoop on America past players. Um, I mean, what more could we do? What more could we do? I know a lot of you guys are coming in and writing in what you guys think. But alongside with everything that they're saying, alongside with everything we're saying, I think it's very important that we focus solely on bringing in a left back and a striker. That's minimal, and those two purchases are very minimal. I think maybe two more players after that would actually round up the club very well, and also depending on the departures, which could mean a whole bunch of different things. But um, really, at the end of the day, what more would you like to see? Because I've seen some people say that they want a center mid, a center back, or maybe another striker. What more do you want to see? What besides the typical left back and striker?
Mm, maybe another a right man like we talked about recently too to um give somebody else for Renato Ibarra somebody to back up Renato Ibarra too. Obviously we've seen Mateus Uribe play there too on the right ring, but you're gonna want to see Guido and Mateus play next to each other, and then all you have really is just Renato Ibarra. So I'm gonna want to see somebody else too at the right mid position at two as well. Which no disrespect. I know last episode we gave him a little bit of shout out, but no disrespect to Joe Corona because Joe Corona had a very good, quiet season with America this season. Not really a lot of people talked about him.
No, not a lot of people talked about it, but I think it was well because he's keeping himself under the radar, which I think is great because if not, then some people would actually eye him up because I think he's only here for a loan. So potentially we might definitely be looking at getting him for a permanent deal.
Yeah. I read somewhere too that he is only here for the loan. So that's something else we're gonna have to probably address too. Probably a center mid position too as well if he is to go back too.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we can get him on a permanent deal because like we said before, he has very much of a balanced bench, versatile, can play in that center defensive mid role. So, it gives Guido a bit of an opportunity to rest whenever he is on the pitch. So I think he's a good buy.
Carlos said Avea, a good possibility since we're likely be getting someone back for the Brian Lozano deal.
Yeah, I think Abella would be a good deal. Um, who's that youngster, the 19-year-old or whatever that was playing against us? He's like everyone's talking about him. Santos is. I think he was a left back for that game.
Oh shoot! Maybe somebody in the chat will beat me to. I'm looking on
Was it
SofaScore right
Roma?
now. I completely blanked. I know who you're talking about too. Let me.
I remember was he kept falling on the pitch. Angulo, there you go.
Angulo, yeah. Yeah. I
Again,
had
it's
this.
it's Carlos. Wow, look at Carlos with the facts on deck. Look at that. You have to mail him kind of like a goodie bag or something. Angulo, I think he has a bright future. I think if we were to get him, I think he'd do well for us. Because let's face it, now he has experience with a Liga. He's gonna have experience now playing a final. He's played in these kind of high pressure moments, and he's done well. Let's face it, he's done really well.
Fuch would be a good option too, I think.
Actually, America wanted Fuch, but they did not want to sell him to us.
Well, I mean, that would. I mean, that would have been a good option. I wouldn't really mind that, but I mean, obviously, like you said, they don't want to give him to us, so it is what it is.
It is what it is. Well, kind of wrap this up because we will have a lot of heavy transfer talk come the January transfer window. I mean, not the January, the summer transfer window. Not until then. That's a long time. Just give me two names that you want coming into the club. Two names.
Let's see. Luke De Jong. I'd like to see that, and I wish it was on the radar, but it's really not. But I really love to see Mauro Diaz in the America jersey.
Mauro Diaz. I've always liked him. Absolutely always liked him whenever I've seen him play for FC Dallas. It was very unfortunate we got when we picked up that injury, and I think that was a downfall for FC Dallas when they came up against Seattle in that in that was it semifinal or final? I can't remember.
No, it was a semifinal probably because we never get that far.
Never get that far. Trust me, we can say the same thing about America this season.
Yeah, but
okay. So Mauro Diaz and Luke De Jong. Wow. I guess I'm putting myself on the spot here. Two players that just any two players. All right. Osmar Mares and More Mosqueda. Boom. Make it happen, America.
I'm kidding right now.
I'm kidding. No, yeah, probably Luke De Jong. I see Sebastian Jobinko maybe floating in the orbit of America. If we can make that happen, I'm all for it. Bring the Italian. He will tear this league up apart. I promise you. So I guess those are my two names, Luke De Jong and Sebastian Jovinko. So Santiago Baños, I know you listen to this because we're your favorite English language podcast. You don't really understand most of what we talk about, but you still listen to us because you like the noise in the background. So make it happen.
Little Drink said Nino Torres.
But you know what? Maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years ago, really? I would have gone for Nino Torres, but now he's like, I don't know. I mean, he looks like he still has potential, but you just never really know.
Yeah.
I think 2 years before, definitely. Right now, I think there's better options out there. Someone said Benzema. I'd take Benzema in a heartbeat, but there's no way the Frenchman's going to be coming down to Mexico anytime soon. Well, who knows? Maybe Menes can coerce him.
Menes and Gignac too, maybe.
Yeah. Iniesta. Carlos said Iniesta. That's true. He said he's not going to play in Europe, so
he's going to Japan. I thought.
Nah, we can hijack that deal.
Hijack it deal.
Yeah, we can definitely hijack it. Yeah, Iniesta, come on down. Come to Mexico. You're gonna love it. We got tortas de huevo, tortas cubanas. We got bombazos. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Just come down here.
Iniesta's not as old as I thought he was.
No, he's not. He just looks old.
Yeah. I always thought he was like For some reason, I thought he was like pushing like 40, but
Almost
like he's
40, right? Yeah.
like barely over 30. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, bring him. Come on. Bring him. I would take Iniesta in a heartbeat. Oof. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine how easy it would be for Guido Rodriguez to just kind of just sit back, not even have to worry about orchestrating the midfield and just letting Iniesta do all the passing?
Well, there you go. Then we don't really have to worry about addressing the right mid position. He just moved Mateus there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever Natibaro can't play, boom.
Yeah. Easy
It's
peasy.
that simple. It's that simple. And then I know someone said maybe put Menace up as striker, and if we have Renato Barra on the right, we can always put Mateus Uribe on in the camp position because he does like to be in that position as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not bad either.
Piojo, we just did your job for you in like 5 minutes. You know, all you need to do is come consult us and our listeners, and we will have your season in glory. A lot of people coming out here saying, let's see, Carlos Baca. That rumor was flying around pretty heavily. I don't know if that will definitely come to avail. I think his loan at Villarreal is going to be coming up to an end soon. He'll be going back to AC Milan. I don't really think he has a spot there, so maybe Carlos Baca. I wouldn't mind Carlos Baca. He's a very good striker, and I think he would do great. The only problem is, again, he's pushing that kind of. I think he's almost the same age as Niño Torres, so. I think we want to stay away from anyone on the wrong side of 30 at this point.
Right.
Someone said, should Rifle come back? No, I don't think so. I think Rifle doesn't even fit. I think he's one of those players that you're just like, I don't really see where he starts, you know? I don't really see. So maybe not Rifle come back. I think he's doing his thing in Leon, and that's fine. Let him do what he has to do. And someone said Tevez would be a good option in America. Yes, he would. I think El Apache would definitely be a wonderful striker. But I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he loves Boca and he's gonna stay at Boca. Huh?
Is that Boca? Yeah.
Yeah, he's at Boca. He went back to Boca, and I think he's just loving his time in Argentina. Josie Altidore would have been a great option for America. Some little drink is pointing out. Would he have been? Yeah, I think maybe. He has great hold up play, excuse me. I mean, if we can get that partnership, Josie Altidore and Jovinko, I mean, it works so well for Toronto. I mean, just add those two players in an America jersey with everything else. I mean, I could easily see them tearing things apart. So, let's kind of wrap it up here. Let's see. Have you guys talked about seeing Pablo Aguilar in a Cruz Azul jersey? We haven't. So let's touch that real quickly before we kind of wrap things up. So what do you think about that? Pablo Aguilar will be coming back to the Estadio Azteca to play in the Estadio Azteca, but it looks like he'll be playing with Cruz Azul.
That's gonna be tough to see, man. That really is gonna be tough to see. Oh man, I'll be honest. I kind of have mixed feelings about that.
Yeah,
I really do. I mean, you're gonna be the enemy, but like you did so much for the team too at times.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's just mixed feelings. It kind of sucks to see that. I wish we would get him back, but
I know I really wish too. I mean, but he's one of those players too that he's kind of reaching up there. I mean, no one's gonna question his ability, but he's kind of up there too. So maybe we can get someone a little bit better. But it will be a little bit heartbreaking to see him in a Cruz Azul jersey playing at the Estadio Azteca week in and week out, because I mean, he's done things for us that a lot of people have been able to do.
Yeah, I mean, just mixed feelings all around, really.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, that's kind of wrap up our transfer talk. We're going to do so much of this come next season. So much. We're going to be diving in every rumor. We're going to be doing our best to kind of give you guys the best information, the best news. We're going to bring in a couple of guests that maybe we'll talk about some of the transfers and stuff like that too. So it's, we'll definitely have you guys covered in that sense as well. And that's always a fun topic whenever that does always come around. So again, make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But we're wrapping it up. We're coming up to an end. We do have a bit of news to share with you guys. So one, is that giveaway, that pesky giveaway that we have still yet to not do. We will be announcing a winner on Twitter tonight. Okay, tonight, one of you lucky listeners will be coming away with a remind them again, what are we giving away?
Phone case that has our logo on it.
Phone case with our logo on it. So I hope you guys are ready and excited for that. For those of you listening to us, maybe it was one of you. So now you're listening to this and you're like, oh, it was me. So that was that. But yeah, make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys do follow us on Twitter. That's actually the only requisite that you need in order to win this. If you haven't done so, maybe you could still kind of put your name in the pool. It is at Eagle Eye Pod. Again, that is at Eagle Eye Pod. So make sure you guys go take care of that. And like I said, this is our last episode 20. We made it 20 episodes in through the whole clausura. I think just from the bottom of our hearts, from both Dylan and me, we just want to say thank you to all of you guys. We made it to over 200 followers on Twitter, to having more than 1,000 something listens on SoundCloud. I wish I had the numbers for iTunes, but I don't. But really, you guys are the MVPs of this podcast. Really, this is not our podcast. This podcast is for you guys. It's for the likes of you guys to come out on the show, on the live show, on Twitter, and just kind of interact with us. Kind of get your voice heard and give your opinions. And really, that was our goal, and I think we're reaching it, and it's all really thanks to you guys. So thank you again for all your support within the 6-month time frame that we've been doing this as the Eagle Eye Podcast. We've come a long way, and I think that we owe all that success that we've had up to this point to you guys. So thank you guys for supporting us, for helping grow the channel, for helping grow the podcast, the Twitter page. There's so much that we have to do in order to kind of keep growing, but I know with your guys' support, with your guys' help, it really, really is going to be the best roller coaster ride that we've ever gone on. And really just thank you guys, because I don't think me and Dylan ever thought that we'd be here 6 months from now talking about having 200 followers on Twitter, which I know does not sound like a lot, and granted, there's still so much more that we can accomplish, but I think within such a small time frame, and being two people that not a lot of people knew about, to be able to come on here and talk nonsense, and to be able to have so much kind of support in such a small little bit of time, I think it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So it's very bitter, very saddening to be the end of the Eagle Eye Podcast for this season, but I think at the end of the day, we kind of just owe a big thank you to all of you who are listening.
Yes, most definitely a big thank you to everybody who's listening, whether it be on the live stream or whether, like Ivan said, on iTunes or SoundCloud, wherever you're listening, a big shout out to y'all. And growing up, I never thought I'd have fans. And so, me and Ivan can both say that we have fans of the podcast now too. 200 followers, like you said, and Ivan, such a small amount of time, this thing really blew up. It grew faster than what I expected it to grow, but it's happening, it's here. We're always trying to bring the best content to you guys. I know me, I had trouble juggling this school, something I was telling Ivan, before we started. And so it's good, it's good. It's just sometimes not necessarily a struggle, but some things that I got to get through whenever it comes to school and dealing with this too. But no, me and Ivan always work things out. We've always rescheduled if we needed to. We never missed a show. We even have the half shows. We could say 20 full episodes, but really, if you count those halves, it's way more than 20.
Yeah.
And so so just thanks for everything, guys.
So, thank you guys. You call them fans? I don't think we have fans. I think they just kind of like to listen to two random people talk about nonsense.
Yeah, I think so too, man.
You guys are the best listeners, whether you're listening to this right now or whether you're listening to this on the road via iTunes or SoundCloud. Thank you again, because you guys, we've broken that kind of 1,000 listener threshold on SoundCloud in such a very fast pace. I think it was like a month ago maybe that we broke that. And two, the people that listen to us from Reddit as well. I mean, it's phenomenal that the support that we're getting from every single one of you guys. And I think all we can really ask is that you help us keep growing. Not for us really. I think really the reason why we should grow this is not because of me and Dylan, because we want this to be kind of this big huge thing. I think it's the fact that we've built this community, that we kind of want to keep this community growing and be the community that we know it can be. We're the biggest club in Mexico, and we're one of the most biggest clubs in the United States, fan base wise. So I think with a little bit more support from all of you, and from people down in Mexico, who I know, there's people down there that know about us and listen to us, and have our backs and support us. I think we'll definitely keep growing, and keep amounting to great things. And at the end of the day, me and Dylan, we force ourselves for you guys, because we want to keep giving you guys, good content, good things to listen to. And at the end of the day, it's you guys who are the most important part of this podcast.
Yes, most definitely. And guys, I mean, it's the summer, but the podcast being over too. Me and Ivan, we're gonna talk about some things. We're gonna plan out more things. We're gonna get a little more creative, and just bring the best content that we possibly can, and work on some things. Actually, our first full season. Going back, we can actually say that we started back in November at the end of Aventura too. And now
Yeah.
we've been through a full season, so like we know what to expect. We see some things that we can improve, and any feedback y'all give us too. We're open to that. What y'all want to see, what y'all think works, what you don't think works. We're open to listen to that too. So just some things we're gonna make better for y'all guys too.
Yeah, we're always open to that. So let us know. Let us know on Twitter what you guys like, what you guys don't like, if you guys think we suck, how we can we improve. At the end of the day, it's for you guys, and we just kind of want to, if you guys can help guide us, then I think we would be going in the perfect direction. So if you guys have any sort of critique that you guys want to see changed, just let us know. So I think with that said, we're not gonna see each other for a long time. We're gonna be MIA for a little bit. So with that said, nah, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna be taking that long. We're gonna be back for the World Cup, ladies and gentlemen. We're not gonna be MIA for like 6 months or 4 months. We'll be back. We're just gonna take a little bit of a vacation. It's a little saddening, yes, because the Apertura, the Clausura is done, and we're not gonna be talking America, but we'll be talking Mexican national team. We'll talk about the World Cup. We'll talk about the preliminary roster, the friendlies, all that stuff. But I think me and Dylan have talked about it. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of a vacation. We're going to maybe, take 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to come back stronger, better than ever. And we're going to give you guys a whole special edition of the Eagle Eye podcast, and L3 edition. So I hope you guys are ready for that. I know there was some of you asking whether or not we were going to stop doing this, or if we were going to do the L3 version for the World Cup and all that stuff. But we'll be here. We'll be your, we'll try to be your number one source for audio listen throughout the whole World Cup, and it should be a fun one, because who knows, maybe we can get a couple people from different countries to come on.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. Something to look out for too, as well. And obviously you got some American players to watch out for too that are on the preliminary rosters right now too, looking to make the final 23-man roster too, going into the World Cup.
Correct. So we will be back. Don't worry about us. We'll be enjoying our vacation. Dylan's gonna be walking around the Las Vegas strips, handing out Eagle Eye podcast flyers to everyone, trying to help grow the community like that. Make sure you're back after a certain hour. I don't really know what the curfew is over there. But
There's no curfew.
The City of Lights, right? There's no curfew. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, thank you guys for everything. 20 episodes in. To Jeremy Menace episode, maybe? Nah, not Jeremy. He doesn't deserve it. We'll give it to someone else. Alejandro Arguello. For those of you who maybe like a little bit of a throwback. So, Dylan, for the last time this Clausura season, and maybe for a little longer, thank you again for coming on. Thank you for being the best co-host, and thank you for these past 6 months that we've been able to give these people a little something.
I feel honored to be your co-host, man. From somebody who's been an America fan their whole life, and people don't know, I've only been an America fan since like 2012, and so it's really good to have this, somebody who's been with the club as long as they could say, like, their whole life growing up with the club and everything like that. And that's something I can't say, but I really hope to like learn too a lot too as well about the club's history.
Yeah, definitely. So we have a lot of things cooking up in the oven for you guys. A lot of kind of things we have to keep a little close to the chest, just because we don't want to spoil it or give anything away. But I'm pretty sure you guys will be excited for when we release these kind of updates on what the show is going to consist of, and maybe a couple things on the side as well. So again, thank you guys so much. Huge shout out to everyone on the live chat who came in and gave their their thoughts and opinions. We encourage you guys to do so every single time. Shout out to every single one of you guys who listened and came today to the live stream. Shout out to you who is listening to iTunes or SoundCloud right now on the go. Thank you again. If you guys ever miss a show, you guys know that we're on those two platforms. And we're going to be on for a little bit. So, you guys can always go back and listen to our shenanigans again and again and again. Shout out to everyone, all those special people out there. Thank you for the support that you guys have given us. To our friends and family who really helped and support us and understood this, and to the community, really, to everyone out there, to Cesar, to Tom, to John, to everyone really that has a pretty big name in this Liga MX community. Thank you to you guys for helping such a such a potential growth that we have, and you guys have been such a huge part of it as well. So thank you. And of course, as always, thank you to the best listeners out there, to all our Americanistas out there repping it in English and in Spanish. Thank you guys. Shout out again to La Resaca Americanista from down in Mexico, who's given us so much love and support. Thanks to everyone, all of you guys. I would be here for another hour and a half if I named every single one of you guys, but you guys know who you are, especially the listeners. Like I said, nothing could have come avail without you guys. So as always, thank you, Dylan. Thank you to every single one of you guys. We'll be talking very, very soon. Make sure you guys keep a close eye on that Twitter page, because we'll let you guys know when we'll be back for that World Cup edition. And until next time, guys, take care. And as always, Arriba la America. Let's go, boys. See you guys very, very soon. Thank you. It's been episode 20, last day of the season. Kiss the badge for good luck, and we'll be back in a Mexico jersey very, very soon. Arriba la America. Thank you guys for all the support. It's been a wonderful 2017-2018 season, and we'll be seeing each other very soon for what's come next in our chapter as Águila English family. Alrighty then. Hasta la próxima, guys. We'll be seeing each other very soon.